Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, God of Heroics, and today we are going to go over episode 10 of Dragon Ball Daima. And while not a lot happened in this episode, there is a lot of information to go over, but I don't think this is going to be a long episode simply because this is more of like an in-between episode. Like, we just got out of the battle where Goku beat the Tamigami, got the third Dragon Ball, and we're leading into a new session where there's going to be a new Majin Buu variant, and there's going to be a whole slew of events going on with that. And then obviously Vegeta and them are now in the Daima world. But with this being a segue episode, I don't really expect this review to be that long. So I might end up doing two videos today just because, I want to add a little bit more flair to what's going on. Or I'll just have another video recorded so it can go up tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. If you like these kind of videos or any other kind of videos that go on this channel, please like the video, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell so you can be notified to all future uploads. I'm trying to hit 500 by the end of the year, so if you could help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any other ideas for videos or just any critiques in general, leave it in the comments down below, and I will be reading and replying to all comments. So this episode starts off pretty much where the last one ended, with Goku and his group basically heading towards the second demon world, or to the warp summit so they can get to the second demon world. Pansy puts his little bear hat on Goku, and her idea is that with Goku having claimed the third Dragon Ball and them already knowing that the spiky haired boy is a menace, that they would rather hide his hair so that nobody knows that it's him. And they also put the Dragon Ball in a little bag. So they check into this really pricey hotel. Glorio is getting it for them because King Caden, who's Pansy's dad, is funding the entire trip that they're on. So they can go in. Goku's head itches because of the beanie. He takes the beanie off, and Pansy has to force it back on him. But that was just enough time for two demons that are in the hotel lobby to see Goku's hair, realizing that it is him. So they're like, hey, that's the guy who got the third Dragon Ball, and that bag that he has is probably the third Dragon Ball. So they're planning to steal it, obviously. Basically, nothing really happens. It's just kind of like an excuse for a small little fight scene. Goku, Pansy, Glorio, and Nahare, or Supreme Kai, they check into a hotel room, and Goku actually takes a bath right after Pansy. And honestly, I really liked Pansy. Thought she was pretty cute. Seeing her with her hair down was a nice little breath of fresh air. She's adorable, and I think it really suits her, along with the clothes that she wears. Goku takes a bath and borrows some of her clothes to wear. And yeah, that's pretty much just this really chill scene, which I think is funny because there was this whole thing going around the internet where people were saying that Dragon Ball characters were like some of the sweatiest, smelliest people in anime. And I'm like, that's weird because I'm pretty sure anime characters canonically take baths, and then like literally the next episode of Daima has Goku taking a bath. So I was like, wow, that's great. So this part of the story is pretty much just entirely skippable, but I'll just briefly go over it. So one of the guys in the lobby, his transformation magic, he transforms to like a wolfman, starts beating up people in the lobby as a distraction. Then once Goku and the gang walk out to see what's going on, he pretty much gives a signal to his homie. His homie can fly, by the way. He's like a pterodactyl demon or some shit. And he flies through the window, steals the Dragon Ball, and then Goku basically goes out there to find them. And he's like, hey guys, give back the Dragon Ball. And they're like, no. And they start running, playing hot potato with it. Goku flies after them, starts fighting them. Glorio shows up, shocks them with lightning, throws them like 30 million miles away, and they get the Dragon Ball back. Basically, nothing happened. Then Goku decides to stay up all night while everybody else sleeps, and he stays up training and doing some other stuff, and then he ends up falling asleep, but the Dragon Ball is pretty safe. So nothing really happened here. Moving forward, they go back into the ship, and they go to meet with Vegeta and them because it turns out that Vegeta's group, being Hybis, Vegeta, Bulma, and I think Kabito and Piccolo, they basically got their ship stolen because, surprise, surprise, just like when Goku showed up, Vegeta got into a fight in the bar or club or whatever it was that they went to eat at, and because of the fight that they got into, how he beat up everybody, those guys stole their ship, and yeah, now they were left high and dry. So Goku's group meets up with Vegeta and them, which ended up being a whole waste of time because they kind of just showed up to visually confirm that they existed. And Pansy said that she's, going to call her dad and see if they can get them a new ship. And then they leave because they're obviously going to go find the second Tamagami in Daima World 2 when they're going to fight him. So, all in all, they didn't really solve any of the problems because, their ship doesn't have room for everybody and it probably won't be able to hold all their weight anyway. So, that turned out to be just walking by to say hello. So, like, the gang's all here, but, like, not really. So after they leave, the demons that Vegeta beat up, along with some other people, show up to try to beat up Vegeta for, well, beat up Vegeta's group for embarrassing them. And this doesn't really go as well as they obviously thought it would. And Vegeta's like, well, this will kill some time. And Hyvis hides and it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna eat while y'all fight. And as soon as he bites his chip, Vegeta starts fighting. He beats the shit out of basically everybody except one guy that Piccolo actually took out. And according to Hypus, he only got to eat two chips. Not entirely certain how long this took because when he first bites a chip, he bites like half of it and chews it, and then he obviously finishes the chip. But when he shows up, he's eating the chips like one chip at a time instead of biting it in half. So I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I could probably go get a bag of chips from the store and like try to figure that out, but I don't care enough. Basically, they fight fast, and that just is what it is. So the only other important thing that happens, we're catching up with Marba and Dr. Arinsu, my fucking wife, and they're creating a new Majin. So basically, they have the whole ritual that was going on, the cultured mixture, and all this stuff that we talked about in the previous episode, and they're ready to make a new one. So I think I understood this properly, so I'm going to explain it the way I understood it. So Marba used the seed of some monster to create Majin Buu. But basically, it was like a trial and error thing where I think she tried different monster bases for different monsters, and Majin Buu happened to be the strongest and best possible result of those monsters. But because they probably just don't have the resources that they had when they made Buu, they're using the base of a Cyberman, which Dr. Arinsu cultivates herself. And she did lower drop a little bit here and say that she used to sell Cybermen to people on the outside world, which I'm assuming is how Vegeta and the other Saiyans got their Cybermen that they used to take over different planets. They would buy them from her, which is probably also why we haven't seen Cybermen since that happened because they haven't been getting any Cybermen from her, especially since Vegeta revolted from the Frieza Force. So she's not really selling Cyberman, or at least they don't sell nearly as much. But it does really make sense considering that this will basically has like cultivated bugs for different uses. So there's like bugs that we talked about a few episodes ago, and now there's like other monster bugs. I don't know what to really call them. Like there's medical bugs, and then now we know that there's I guess attack bugs or plants or whatever. Anyway, so she said that the seed that they used for Majin Buu, they planted really, really deep into the magic soil of sorts, I guess you can call it. So because they did that, he ended up being very chaotic, very crazy, very powerful. So they're just planting it 5 centimeters into the mixture this time to create this new being, and they call him Majin Ku. Um, I'm gonna be real. A lot of people hate this design, but I don't really mind it. I mean, it's like what you would get if you like gave Majin Buu a Cyberman body, and that's pretty much what this character is. And Majin Ku, I'm gonna assume is strong as hell. For one, the first thing Dr. Arinci tells him to do is go defeat. She tells him literally go defeat Tamagami 1 and retrieve the Dragon Ball. Now, like I said before, I think all three Tamagamis are not the same power level. I think 3, 2, and 1 are in that order because of their strength. 3 is probably the weakest, while still strong. I mean, Goku had to go Super Saiyan to finish him off, but uh, yeah, I don't think that 3 is weak at all. And then 2 is probably stronger than him, and 1 is probably the strongest. And the way she described it is, if we're not, dealing with a monster this powerful, then we really can't use him for our needs anyway to defeat the people we're going up against, which I guess makes sense. So yeah, I think this character is strong, and my primary reason for thinking that isn't because of the mission that she gave him, because she does have her reasons for that. I think it's because he has a goofy aesthetic. Toriyama always liked creating characters with with the kind of goofy aesthetics to them, especially villains, where they look kind of weird and weak or whatever, but they're actually really powerful. Like if you look at Frieza, his first form, like that's currently playing on the video right now. He is like small. He looks kind of girly, kind of silly, kind of metro, and he's strong as shit. And it was the same with Cell. And Perfect Cell was like this ugly little bug man, and then Second Form Cell, which was Akira Toriyama's favorite version, is ugly, and he reused that design for Cell Max. And then Majin Buu was just this goofy little fat, silly little thing, but he was like apparently, the symbol of terror and chaos in the universe. So Majin Buu looking very weird, very strange, very goofy. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest, and I do think he's very powerful. Aside from that, the only thing that we really get is Degasu telling Demon King Goma that Goku and them got the Dragon Ball, and that's pretty much all the important information that we got out of this episode. All in all, this obviously isn't going to be the best episode or anything like the last episode was for me, but it does pretty much just shed some light on things like what Vegeta and them have been doing, why they haven't caught up, where Goku and them are going next, and it does explain a little bit more about what's going on with Orinzu's new plan to make another Majin Buu of sorts, and I do kind of want to know where this is going, so I really do look forward to see this. Like, he's gonna fight Tamagami 1, but I want to see if he fights anybody else. Like, if he runs into Goku's gang all their way to Tamagami 2, or if he ends up fighting Vegeta and Piccolo, or how that's gonna go. I really want to see what's in store for the show, and I want to see what his moveset's gonna be like. Because I know, he might fight pretty crazy, pretty chaotic, but I feel like it's not gonna be an exact replica of what Majin Buu uh, does when he fights. I think it's gonna be more akin to like an extension of what Cyberman is capable of, because now you have Cyberman's abilities, but on top of that, you're going to have the Majin, like, magic boosted version of it. So I really am curious to see what it's going to be like. I would love to see it be like a bunch of explosions, like if his ki blasts are basically just like bombs, or if he has like more explosive techniques. I'm really curious to see what he's going to be like. If you guys have any ideas on what he might fight like, please leave it in the comments down below. But if you want to shed some light on something, clarify something that I didn't understand or something that I thought I understood, please leave it in the comments down below. And I do have another video that's coming out where I want to explain a theory of mine that popped up in my head while actually recording this. So please keep an eye out for that. And aside from that, that's going to do it for this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.